How do you think Bezos and them not paying taxes? Because they understand. What did Trump say? It makes me smart.
And they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax. So
that makes
if
me
he's
smart.
Paid,
you don't know commerce, then how are you operating in it?
Yeah. That's true.
So we were about taxes. Let's talk about taxes, all right? Everything's about taxation. How many times can they tax you? Everybody's taxed based on their status or citizenship, all right? So, like you mentioned before, a living trust won't get you out of taxes, but there is things that will, okay? Taxes is like going down a two-way street. There's good and there's bad to an extent. I think it's all bad personally, but I'm going to say it's good as bad because what is thought to believe that it's, we get taxed to make sure there's funding and all that's bull crap. I told y'all where the funding comes from. Everybody that's born in America is an asset to America. Why? America can write off a bond under your name, and sell it on the stock exchange and make money for the course of your lives. Everything we fund America. They estimate how much money you're gonna make in your life. That's how they value your bond. Estimate how much you're gonna get for 30 years.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's generating money for the corporation. It's just the people don't know that they are the assets. Think about that. If they're waiting on us to make a job and create work, we wouldn't go nowhere because it has to start somewhere. So how not started at birth? Boom, there go the funding. Then everything in between is just extra funding. This is what the wealthy people do. They avoid the taxation by understanding how it works, not going down the street where taxes is responsible. They go down the street where taxes is not an issue. Because once you go down that street of taxation and you try to run, that's called evading. But if you don't go down there at all, that's called avoiding. That's why at the end of the year, the millionaires look for things to make purchases and donations.
Right.
They're trying to get out the tax liability.
Right.
It's a two-way street. You got to be careful, right? Because if you go down the wrong way on the tax street, you become liable.
Right.
Then when you try to run, that's called evading. The whole object is not to go down the street.
On a bike.
Now you're not liable. So that's avoiding. That's the difference. So that's the big thing about taxes, y'all, is knowing where the tax liability comes in and avoid it. The IRS taxes everybody who touches a dollar.
Now that makes sense.
Every dollar they give them 3 on interest.
Right. Yeah.
So how can we ever get out of a hole if we borrow 1 and owe 3?
Right.
It's called compound interest. It's not meant for you to get out. If y'all let these banks into our nation, your children's children's children will be slaves, will be born into debt. Now what do you hear on the news? Every child is born with so much debt over his head.
Already.
So let's change your gears real quick. The easiest way for y'all to get out of paying so much taxes is getting everything out your name. Property is the biggest thing we get taxed on. So to get out of that is get stuff out your name. So now things are not in your name personal, they're in the trust, which is also a business trust. Did you catch that? What? Yeah. We just started operating as businesses. Now, to get out of taxation of the trust is this. It's just as simple. The government cannot tax what they do not own. When you create an LLC, you give ownership to a government, not so much for a trust. Now, trusts formed in proper states and nations can get you out of the whole tax liability. As long as we operating as a business, paying our bills and expenses through the trust because it's living expenses. That's a business. Now you have expenses to write off on your taxes.
Right.
Your groceries are expensive.
Right.
Your mortgage are expensive. Every
Right.
bill that goes through that trust is an expense now. They also tax you based on what you make. Profit. So, think about it right here. If I don't have no profit, all my stuff goes out in expenses, I don't have nothing to get taxed on. What happened with them expenses when you do them tax returns? That stuff comes back. So now I just showed y'all how to get out of it. That's what the wealthy people do.